miles. So I actually 25, and I've been associated with farming for 25 years. Didn't really want anything to do with it till I was about 16. Didn't grow any cotton until 2 years ago. So y'all probably have a lot more experience with cotton than I do. But here we go, I guess. But we're going to talk about the Layne cotton fertilizer, specifically potash today. A little bit about our operation. Here's a picture of my two boys, Luke and Owen. Owen was born on Christmas Eve, so my wife and them are not here. My wife is Ryan, and then my dad and my mom, Matt and Sherry. Went to school at UAM in Monticello. Got a degree in plant and soil science. And currently we're growing 10,000 acres, cotton, corn, soybeans, and rice. And didn't put it in there because I honestly didn't think about it. We're going to try to grow some peanuts this year too. We'll see how that goes. Started farming in 2012 with 50 acres there with my dad. And then in 2015, I got the opportunity to start farming full time. And then we also run 14 full-time semi-trucks. A little bit about our operation, kind of what we do. Here's our fertilizer plan. You know, Rob is our consultant, Rob Dedman. He, consultant, partner, friend, family, whatever. He runs 2-acre grid samples in the fall. And so we kind of go over that and we see what we need based on crop removal. And I put the crop removal for soybeans up here because that's generally we go cotton, corn, soybeans, cotton, corn, soybeans. And pulls off 96 units of potash through the year is what we take to the layer. So we got to put that back somehow, which is what we call checkbook. Normally, based on samples, we're 1 to 2 tons of chicken litter, and once we get our soil samples back, we credit the litter, and based on whatever yield potential we say we're going to try to produce, whether or not we have to put potash back or not. Usually we do, almost every field. So it's not major amounts. I would say 100 to 150 pounds probably an acre, wouldn't you say? Something like that. Normally we do it all ahead of time. But we've noticed, and I'm sure a lot of people notice, our cotton, what we call, starts cutting out at the end of the year, gets the red potash deficiency look. And so this past year, we split it up and we try to do late season. So we do a little bit in the early season and a little bit in late season, try to keep that cotton, plenty to eat the whole time. Talking a little bit about the grids, we feel like grids versus samples, that's a little bit skewed probably on the zone sampling. I know you're supposed to do a lot more. That's the best picture I could find for the zone sampling. But we feel like we get a little bit more out of grids. We feel like we get a closer look at every acre, not just in zones. More data points, more information. That's kind of Rob's slogan on that. And didn't always know if we were getting our money back on that. Having to do so many samples, go over so many samples, but we feel like that we're really getting our soils balanced. I would say we're going from more variable rate to more flat rates because everything's almost the same. Then like I said, there can be variability in those zones. I know not everybody takes one sample per zone. You might do 3, 4, 5, depending on what your zones look like, how big they are. We feel like we get years of data to help develop trends based on our grid samples. And I guess I already talked about the next one, the variable rate to the flat rate. Like I said, we feel like we're going to more flat rates instead of variable rate because our soils are a lot more even. And it gets the fertilizer in the right spot. If you're doing variable rate, based on the grids, you're going to put you're going to put your potash where it needs to be. And this is what we feel like Grizz did for us. On the right was 2018 potash application. You can see it's a lot of variable rate. You know, a lot of it's the same, but the whole field had to have something, and there's a lot of different rates in those fields. And then in 2019, you can see we didn't put much out. Just a few different spots. I think that field took me 20 or 30 minutes to do, maybe not that long. But we're seeing our soils where we don't have to put them in those spots as often. Hopefully on that field next year, we hope that what we see is 100 pounds across the field of potash is maybe what we're going to have to do. Where it's a lot easier, a lot more simple, and we'll take that potash and be able to really split it up and get it throughout the season. I'd say we're probably 40 to 60% variable rate now, and at cotton we've actually done variable rate and flat rates. With if there's a few spots that really need it, we'll go in and variable rate it and say we want to put a flat 100 pounds across. We'll do 50 early with a urea application and 50 late with our second urea application. Waiting as long as possible. We have waited to the point to where we needed a airplane to do it. So, we're trying to hold that off as long as possible. And then how we split our potash apps, I guess I went ahead of myself a little bit. In 2017 and 18, we applied everything up front. And like I said, we get the late season, like that picture there, we start seeing that everywhere. Seems like it's worse on the highway where most people can see it. 2018, we tested that with some wide drop potash. I don't remember the product we used. I don't know if you remember or not.
It was potassium acetate.
So that's what we used. And we noticed we've seen a little difference in the tissue samples, and I'll show you some of those in a minute. So in 2019, we decided that since we're a lot more flat rate, say we're using 100 pounds, I know I'm using that number a lot, but it's easy for math. And we could put the 50 on the front and 50 on the back. We didn't see that as much. Now, we still seen it in some places. I mean, because you got to build your soils up, but we didn't seem to see that as bad. Like I said, we apply our litter. We variable rated some potash we didn't. And then we split the majority of it with our urea apps and saved that early trip with that potash application. Now, if we do the variable rate and a flat rate, we don't save it, but we feel like we save the money in, the cotton not showing that red. Here's a couple samples mid-bloom, and kind of what I want to show you is, we're still in that the sufficient range. Look, you can see where it's starting to go down to the low and to the bad. And that's during the mid-bloom. So we're starting to see where we're losing that a little bit, but we hadn't lost it yet. 2017, and I know it's a little bit different picture, and you can't hardly read it. But you can see basically that's in the deficient in 2017 in our late season tissue samples. Last year, where we split up all of our potash and really started managing that, we're still in that sufficient range at the same timing. So we really feel like we're making our money back plus some by waiting. In 2018, we like I said, we did a little bit of it and stayed in that sufficient range. In 2019, we did it again, stayed in that sufficient range. Hopefully we end up getting it in the high range. That's where we really feel like we want to be to really make those good yields. But just showing trends of late season applications, you can see where we're not cutting out on the late season. That's really all I got on that. I wanted to talk a little bit about adversity. I don't know if any of y'all know us very well or not. I know Gus does. That's our best friend, farm manager, kind of like Rob, basically family. Everybody worked with family. And had an accident. He passed away this year. all I really want to say about that, guys, is if you lose somebody, if you have any kind of adversity on your farm, it takes family to really get through that. So I just want to kind of attribute that to him a little bit. And Extreme Ag is coming soon. You'll hear about it, I hope. You really probably need to talk about that more than I do.
I'm gonna say right now.
But you'll see that coming soon. But if anybody has any questions, I'm pretty much done, I guess.
When do you put out your chicken litter?
In the fall. We put all our chicken litter out in the fall. Discount any nitrogen because we feel like we lose that. But we feel like it really gets broke down. We get the benefit of it early. But so we try to do all of ours in the fall.
Do you work it in, or you just?
Yeah, we work
service
every bit of it in. Yeah, we try to make sure every bit of it gets worked in. Sometimes it don't if it rains or whatnot, but for the most part, yes.
Your potash, are you always blending it with urea or just single out?
Usually we used to single lap it, but this year we blended it with our urea, trying to save some trips.
Just all 60 PCF?
Yes, sir. Hopefully this year we're going to try a test with the granular and with wide drops again. See kind of if we can get a little bit more with the wide drops or not.
What row spacing are you on to be able to run the wide drops and not?
38s.
Okay.
Yeah, we're all 100% 38s. But I mean that wide drop's got different setting. I mean I think it will go with other ones. I'm not sure.
Or just set up on 30s and I tried it and I just kept breaking too many branches.
Yeah. And we may end up doing the same. I don't know. We've only tried it once. Didn't get around to it last year. We just neglected to do it. But we're going to try it again.
Any more questions?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, no, I noticed that when you picked your potash levels up in your leaf tissue analysis late season, was there a corresponding yield result?
Well, we didn't. We really did it more off tissue samples. We're going to take it more to yield this year. Felt like it was. So I'm not going to tell you yes, but we really felt like we did a lot better job with it this year, especially that it wasn't showing the.
It's showing up now.
So usually we don't see the potash deficiency unless we have a real good crop.
That's right.
I kinda like to see it.
Yeah. But if you can get that real good crop and not see it, you might have a better one. We hope. But I'll leave it to Mr. Gus, I guess.
Yeah, you let me to